Cambry, what are you up to?
Man, I'm just trying to pack for the Boulder game this weekend. You really don't know what to expect with the Trojans nowadays.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Sports Scene starts now.
Next man up, and I've never lost 3 backs in 1 week before in 25 years, but you know what, there's a first time for everything. Find a way to go win a game on the road. As a coach, we're not paid to make excuses, we're paid to find answers, and we'll find those answers.
That was USC head coach Clay Helton with a hopeful perspective on the depleted Trojan lineup. Good afternoon, I'm Cambry Guest.
And I'm Jillian Carroll. The Trojans are looking to change their luck on the road this week against the Colorado Buffaloes.
And the Trojans were already hurting prior to Saturday's matchup against the Wildcats, but now they're going to have to dig deep into their arsenal of players following a few more losses. Now, it's a long list of injuries. Defensive lineman Drake Jackson suffered an ankle sprain, and combine that with Christian Rector being limited, the Trojan defense is hurting. Linebacker Abdul Malik McLean and safety Talanoa Hufunga each suffered a dislocated shoulder, which means the Trojan defense will have a lot more young players seeing the field.
Another season-ending injury for the Trojans offense with receiver Munir McClain tearing his ACL. Running back Vave Malaipai was already out indefinitely, but now you add Marquis Stepp to that list after he tore an ankle ligament, and Stephen Carr is doubtful after suffering a hamstring sprain. Can the Trojans survive the next few weeks with just one scholarship running back? Here is what KENAN Christian had to say.
I just wanted to go in and make sure that I was helping the team out. I just wanted to, be able to get in the game and do what I could for the team. Just being able to be patient and making cuts quickly and being able to just be a more elusive back.
KENAN Christian gave SC some confidence in last week's win, and the young defense held their own, keeping the Wildcats to just 14 points. They hit the road again this week, taking on Colorado. Now, they haven't had much luck in away games so far this season, and adding in all these injuries, that's going to take us right into our roundtable.
Yes, and to help us discuss all things Trojan football, we welcome our guests today, Dylan Schloss and Michael Sang.
Thanks for having us, guys. Thank you so much for having us.
So glad to have you guys. Right. So now, on the note of all of these injuries, one, on the road so far, the Trojans have a complete losing record, and now you add in this long list. We saw that graphic with just countless faces. What kind of outcome can we expect for the Trojans this week?
I desperately want the Trojans to win, but I just don't see it. Steven Montez, the quarterback for Colorado, thrives on weak defenses, and this is where he's going to shine most, in his home stadium. Listen, you could go out right now, you'll see most of our guys in the Engelman Health Center before you see them in our locker room, and it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. I'm sorry. I just really hope they win, but I don't see that they will.
Dylan, sorry, I got to disagree here. I think the Trojans have a really strong offense, and I think that's what they're going to play with, a strong offense versus a strong offense. And I really think that the Trojans have also never lost to Colorado, so I think there's definitely a shot here. The reserves will come back, and they'll be able to make a comeback for the Trojans.
I just really think, before the injuries, I agree with your point completely, but I am just worried about this depleted offensive line, and especially with our defense not being where it should. I think it's going to pose some challenges.
And Jillian, I'm going to have to disagree. I think the Trojans have proved to be such a deep team that every time someone goes down, you have someone ready to step in, step up, and really have that next man mentality that Coach Helton's always talking about. So I'm going to say that the Trojans are going to finally secure a win on the road this weekend. But now that's going to take us in. We're still on the topic of injuries. We have Avine step out indefinitely. Carr is week to week. Can this offense survive with just KENAN Christian? What do you guys think?
I think that KENAN Christian and Kanai Mauga can definitely take the step up and definitely push them through the win. Also, like Cambry said, USC has had a historic season of being able to bounce back after having so many losses. Just look at JT Daniels, Keedon SLOVIS. USC just has such a strong reserve that I think that they can make it.
Listen, the two of you guys, the two of you guys have talked about how we've seen this resilience, right? The record hasn't really shown it necessarily. Yeah, they've dealt with a lot of injuries in the past, and we've seen some great players throughout USC history rise from injuries. But it's going to be tough, especially when they haven't been doing great on the road. This is going to be a real proving ground away in Colorado. That's an intimate stadium where it's going to be loud, and I personally don't see it. I'm sorry, guys.
And, you can't deny the fact that KENAN Christian had a good game last weekend, but that's a lot of weight on his shoulders heading into the Colorado game, and I just don't know if the team's going to be able to lift him up from that.
All right, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, what shakes out. But we cannot talk Trojan football without at least bringing up KEDON SLOVIS. Now, it's only his 4th game to start for the Trojans this season. And based on what we've seen so far, do you think that he's proven to live up to the hype, or is he going to be the guy that just can't get it done?
Oh, okay. So you have asked me this question when he first came in, and I'm sorry, I'm not on the hype train. I'm just not ready to buy it yet. Listen, yes, did they win against Arizona at home? That's a very weak team, but there was times where KEDON was looking iffy. I'm not ready to buy it yet, guys. I don't know why anyone would be.
Look, I'm sorry, Dylan, but I'm going to have to upgrade my ticket to first class on the KEDON train. Okay. He has a level head. He has shown us that he has the skill, and he knows how to adjust when the play doesn't go just right. Okay. So,
all right, Jillian, I'm going to one-up you there. I'm going to nominate myself as the conductor of the KEDON train.
All right,
I think he's proven, like you said, he's level-headed, but not only is he level-headed, he's quick on his feet. He's finally getting, back in the swing of things after suffering those concussion injuries. He's quick from the hands, and he just really sees what's happening on the field. And for someone that's so young, not only is it a matter of potential, because he still is just so new to this Trojan offense, but he has the talent there already. It's not like we're waiting on him to finally get his feet wet. So I think that he is everything that he's hyped up to be for me, and I just can't wait to see what happens with him moving forward.
Dylan, I'm sorry. I can't name myself anything higher than the conductor, but I have to get on the KEDON
Yes,
train.
all aboard, all aboard.
I've seen KEDON play, and he's just consistent. Even though he hasn't done the best in some of the games, he's just a very consistent player. His throws are great. Last game, he threw 2 touchdown passes, and I think that we can definitely see KEDON just living up to his potential and going up and doing even more.
Don't catch me at the station until next year. I'm sorry.
All right, we have to settle it down for now, because that's unfortunately all the time we have for this roundtable. But on the topic of injury-riddled teams, I was joined in studio earlier this morning by USC Volleyball's Raegan LeGrand. Raegan, thank you so much for coming and joining me in studio this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And also congratulations on 2 really impressive wins over Oregon State this weekend.
Thank you.
Really exciting, especially considering you're down to, what, about 9 active players on the lineup?
Yeah, 9. It was a lot of adversity for us, but especially getting those wins with that adversity, it really helps us understand that we are here to stay and that we've got a really deep team right now.
Absolutely. Just with so many injuries plaguing this team, who have you seen really step up just to fill these holes?
I mean, you've got the obvious people where it's like Kalia Lanier, who is just a natural born leader. But then you've got the incoming freshmen. All of them have really done a great job. I think Kayla Barra, especially, she played her little butt off in defense this weekend, and I was just so proud of her.
Oh, absolutely. And you especially, you're a senior, so you've been around a time or two, so you have that as a leadership role combined with, you're the libero, so you're leading the team entirely from the defensive end. So how has that shaped your season so far of just stepping into not only a seniority leadership role, but also just as the defensive specialist?
I mean, defense, it's something that you just take so much pride in, and luckily our back row this year, we're gritty, we're scrappy, we work on it every single week. So our coach talks about having good plays after good plays, not letting the highs and lows really dictate the game. And I think that we've just really grown into that mantra and really taken advantage of what we can do on the defensive end. And it's just really cool to step back and watch your teammates just continue to do these great things.
Absolutely. And so is that consistency going to be the key into heading into this weekend? You have Stanford coming in, you have Cal coming in, and Stanford is leading the pack right now, right?
Yes, both of them are. They're both really great teams. They're both nationally ranked, and it's really exciting, especially coming off of the wins and the confidence that brings you, and just, I don't know, it's just really exciting.
So how has this preparation been like this week?
Prep, it's pretty much the same as we normally do, the consistency I was talking about, but also some of the players being able to come back, from 9, I think we're at 10 or 11 now, but yeah, just regular everyday work that we always do, and yeah.
So I mean, it's the last season for you, so what's next? What are you looking forward to after this?
I have 2 little sisters that both play volleyball. One of them is at Regis playing college volleyball. The other one's in high school. And
so it's all in the family.
All in the family, yeah. And I'm really excited to just go and watch them and be their little cheerleader for a couple years and follow them around. And just because they grew up coming to my games and being the cheerleaders, the best little sisters ever. And I really want to be able to dedicate the next part of my life to them.
Well, for at least right now, I'll just stay as the USC volleyball cheerleader until you get to have that be your role.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming in. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. I wish we could stay and chat for forever, but we're gonna send it on back to you guys. All right, now in some tennis news, I'm Lauren LABRUNA, joined by tennis expert Nick Kaufman.
Thanks for having me this week.
Yeah,
Excited.
Of course. Let's talk tennis. It was a big weekend for both teams as they competed in the ITA Southwest Regional Championships. So for the women, they traveled to San Diego. How do you think they did?
It was a bit of a mixed bag for the women, I would say, because they're dealing with some injuries right now, so not the whole team was able to go, but there were some strong showings, especially from Salma Ewing in singles. She was able to reach the quarterfinals, and then in doubles, actually, freshman Erin Cayetano and sophomore Danielle Wilson reached the semifinals before losing to a very impressive duo from UCLA in Abby Altick and Taylor Johnson. So I think there are some positives to be taken from this weekend, and just right now, the Trojans need to get healthy.
Great, and for the men's team, they traveled to Malibu for their tournament. Yes. I was able to watch some of that, and there was a lot of positive energy. How do you think they did?
I mean, you saw for yourself, Lauren, they absolutely dominated the tournament in singles and doubles. I think they played the way that they should be playing. It's a very strong team, and this weekend sort of solidified that.
Yeah, definitely. And there was Trojans actually playing Trojans in this tournament. What do you think about this performance specifically?
It just is a testament to the strength of this team in singles and doubles. In singles, 6 of the 8 players in the quarterfinals were Trojans. The finals, unfortunately, freshman Stefan Destange lost to an impressive player from Santa Barbara, but in the end, it was a very strong showing from the Trojans in singles. And in doubles, it was an all-Trojans final as Brandon Holt and Riley Smith beat Moore Bullis and Daniel Kucherman in straight sets to win. So I think overall it just shows how impressive and how strong this team is overall.
Yeah, and with all these great performances, who stands out to you?
The player I've been most impressed with this season and from this tournament so far is, you're going to like this, Lauren, it's Riley Smith. He's been playing some incredible tennis since the end of last season. He's won the doubles title this year, and then he reached the quarterfinals in singles in Malibu this past weekend, as well as some other strong showings this preseason. So I really expect him to start off next season really strong.
Well, here's hoping. We're very excited to see how the tennis team does the rest of the season. Now over to Daniel with some soccer updates.
The women of Troy are hoping to get back to their winning ways with tomorrow's game against Washington State. Despite beating them in more stat categories, USC still lost handily 3-0 in last Friday's game on the road against the Cal Golden Bears. We spoke to Coach Kedani McAlpine at practice today on what he hopes is different when his team squares off against the Cougars.
The good thing is we didn't play terribly in that game. We were a bit unfortunate. They played a little bit more desperate than we did, and so I don't feel like we played all that. And honestly, we've probably given up more goals than I want to give up. So if we can take a few more goals off the board, I think we'll give ourselves more chances to get out in front, and once we get out in front, we're hard to beat.
Key players coming into tomorrow's game will be none other than forwards Tara Mikione and Penelope Hockey. The junior and freshman pair have combined for 21 goals this season and have effectively powered the Trojans' offense. Despite the loss against Cal, the Trojans are still coming into tomorrow's game with an 11-2-1 overall record. That record is good enough for 3rd in the Pac-12 and 4th overall in the country. Washington State, however, ranks just below the Trojans in the Pac-12 at 4th and are coming in at 10-3-1 and will be no easy task for USC. The game against Washington State will take place tomorrow at 3 p.m. at McAllister Field. That is all for now on USC's women's soccer, and now we turn to Hunter Patterson on this edition of Ask an Athlete.
I'm Hunter Patterson here with Julia Bingham for another edition of Ask an Athlete. Julia, first question for you. Would you rather be a shark or a dolphin?
A dolphin.
Go-to Starbucks order.
Hot vanilla latte.
Best athlete perk.
Register classes early.
Yeah.
We get that first, so that's pretty nice.
That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
What's your favorite place to play away from McAllister Field?
I would say Stanford. I like their field and their stadium.
Okay. Funniest moment in the season so far?
We had crossing and finishing, and Sade, a girl on our team, just went down to the ground first and then headed the ball, which was pretty funny. I've never seen that before.
Who is the clumsiest on the team?
The clumsiest? Ooh. I would say... What's the question? Taylor. Yeah, Taylor.
What's your pump-up song before every game?
Ooh, I have a lot, but I would say, like, Yeah by Usher, Shots, or, like, Get Out of Your Mind. That's, like, big ones.
Thank you for another edition of Ask an Athlete. Appreciate you tuning in.
Before we go, Cambry and I are going to have a little fun and show y'all our hashtag moods for the game on Saturday. So I'll start us off.
Oh, I like that one.
Get fit, get healthy. For all of you guys who are already healthy, stay healthy, please. Go work out. Eat some vegetables. For you guys that are recovering from injuries, we want you back healthy.
Absolutely, I love that. Take advantage of that little Galen food. Get fit, get healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Get the grub, get in the weight room. I love it. I love to hear it. Now mine's a little more simple. I'm just ready for a road game win. I'm ready for the Trojans to finally secure a win on an away game. I think it's going to happen. I think Colorado's going to finally be the turning point and really be a change of pace for this team.
Awesome.
And now that's all. That's it for us today. I'm Cambry Guest.
And I'm Jillian Carroll. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Annenberg Media Sports.
We'll see you next week for another episode of Sports Scene.